Hi folks, it's Andy. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. In this series of videos, we take some footage that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in to me. We watch it together, I give you some feedback, and hopefully everybody gains something. We're going to look at a couple of videos today. I think they're both grading exams, but at total different sort of ends of the spectrum. Really, we've got one for second Q, and I think the other is for fifth Dan. So we're going to have a nice variation here that we're going to have a look at. Before I jump into them, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below using the word Kendo, okay? The word Kendo. What a great Kendo channel. Is the best Kendo channel I've ever seen. Something like that, and it'll help us grow the Kendo population. The YouTube Ninja robots will go out there and get 327 trillion people to start Kendo by this evening. Okay, so make sure you do that. But more importantly than that, if you like this video and if you like the other videos that I put out there, support the channel by shopping at KendoStar.com. It's a win-win situation for you because KendoStar is the best Kendo equipment website in the history and future of the human race. Now, of course, I would say that because I own the place, but everyone agrees with me. You're going to shop with us in the end anyway, so don't buy twice. Buy right first time round and shop at KendoStar.com. You get the best equipment and the best service, all right? KendoStar.com. Okay, right, so let's get to this first one. This one, the message I've got, it says, hi Fish Sensei, I was hoping to get feedback on my first Shinsa. I studied many of your Kendo feedback videos in preparation for my NICU test, so this is second Q, which I believe helped me pass. I'm facing the camera in the front court with a yellow tenugui. My participant number is 45. Beginning of the video is a Kihon portion of the first Tachi begins at 240. I'd appreciate if any feedback as I prepare for IQ. Specifically, I feel I need to improve my Zanshin. So my Fumikomi is too early, and I tried to initiate my swim before stepping to compensate. But I feel like I'm running into issues with proper Kikentai Ichi. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I know you sent a video of the second Tachiai as well, but I think we'll just look at one because we've got the whole Kihon as well, and I'll get enough of an impression from that, trust me. Okay, so here we are. You are here facing the camera. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is second cue, right? So what am I looking for? Let me tell you what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for some semblance of an attempt to achieve strikes with Kikentai no Ichi, okay, and Zanshin. Simple as that. Okay, look, your Kirikaishi is pretty good. There are issues with your Fumikomi, all right? But look, for this level, it's okay. But the problem is if you carry on practicing this way, it's going to get harder and harder to fix, all right? We watch this Fumikomi. What we're doing is we're lifting up, and we're lifting up the leg, and then we're sort of stamping down with the right foot, which is well in advance of the shinai coming down, right? And then the shinai hits, all right? So it's not timed correctly, all right? Now, the reason the cause of this, and it's super common, is because what you're focusing on more than anything, you're focusing on the stamp with the right foot, which is obviously what we all think about when we talk about Fumikomi, because that is what the Fumikomi is. But rather than the Fumikomi that's the issue, what the real issue behind all this is what's called Fumikiri, and that's the push off from the left leg, and that's the really important part of the whole situation, all right? It's the launch your body forward, launch your hips forward as you swing the shinai down, and the sort of Fumikomi happens. It's not a byproduct, but it's kind of part of the whole situation. But really, what we're thinking about here is pushing forward from the left leg, whereas what you're doing is stepping out with the right leg, all right? And that's why it's happening earlier, all right? So that's the key here, and that's going to be the key, I'm sure, for everything else. The rhythm of your kirikaishi is overall fine, good, okay, good. No problem here with your kirikaishi, happy with it. Okay, good. So I really want you to think about pushing out from the left rather than stepping out with the right. Okay, we're going to skip over this because we're watching just yours. So now you have to do some Kihon, right? Okay, same thing on this really, okay? Same thing on this. So we can get to it. Yeah, you see how you're stepping out with the right leg, and that's why it's coming down well before your strike makes contact. All right. In general, everything should happen together, but if you watch it in slow motion, the shinai should connect before the foot, not the foot before the shinai. One more time, I just want to watch that. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. What I want you to think about as well is after hitting, because you talked about the zanshin, this is kihon, right? So it's fine to sort of go past in this way. But what you don't want to do is hit and lift the shinai up this way, right? Now, of course, because the shinai bends on impact, and if you relax afterwards, it bounces up, and this is natural, that's fine. But what's happening with you is you're hitting, and then the energy, the sort of momentum is going up this way. Whereas what I want you to try and do is hit and then push forward. Yeah, man, this way. Can come up a bit, that's fine, but not sort of where you're kind of coming backwards, your energy's coming backwards. Does that make sense? Go, okay. Okay, so yeah, the zanshin on your door is not quite right, is it? Let's look at the other one. Yeah, okay, so what I don't want you to do when you do the door, right, is leave the shinai behind you like this, yeah? Kind of bring it down and say, do, pam, do, pam, kamae, okay? So I want you to pop that kamae faster as you turn around, okay? Okay, let's, okay, so now I think you're gonna do the keiko. Yeah, look, this is fine for a second cue. I don't think there's an issue, particularly for ikkyu either. Obviously, kaishido it needs work, but you know, it's it's fine that you tried the waza. I don't think that's a problem. I'd recommend checking the length of your menhimo. They look a bit long. Need to be less than 40 centimeters, okay, when they're tied. The kamae is good. You see, when you do this kote strike here, see how, like, it's more of a step out with the right rather than a launch forward with the left. So the foot is landing well in advance, yeah? Well in advance, okay? Nice, man strikes. Good. Good. Look, okay, fine. Okay, I don't have a lot to say. I think the main thing you need to work on is that Fumikomi, all right? Ikkyu, no problem. You'll get through it, no problem. Probably Shodan as well. You're not far off Shodan. So, but the problem is if you don't start thinking about this Fumikomi and the rhythm of it, right? Especially, like I say, pushing from the left rather than stepping from the right. Then once you start trying to get through Nidan Sandan, you're going to start to hit a wall. And that wall is only going to get thicker and thicker if you manage to, like, get over that grade. So what I mean by that is, like, you might have issues getting through Nidan. And then if you do manage to get through Nidan and it's still not fixed, you're going to have even bigger issues getting through Sandan. And then you get people that, like, they just can't get through Yondan or Godan because of this issue. Because it just doesn't get fixed in the first place, all right? And it's really important to fix it as soon as you can, all right? So push from the left, not step out from the right, okay? And otherwise, as I say, in terms of zanshin, yeah, especially after door strike, but men strike as well. Door, men, pam, kamae. Okay, that's the super important part. All right. So yeah, good. Nice submission. Well done on getting your second cue. I don't think you're far away at all from Shodan. So EQ shouldn't be a problem at all. Okay, so now we'll move to the next one. Next one, the message says, "Hi Andy, since I'd like to submit a couple of videos for the feedback series." I'm the one on the right on both sides. Okay, these two matches are my third unsuccessful try at fifth dan. I was pretty shook up when I saw I didn't pass. I felt really good throughout the jitsuki and I barely remember the matches afterwards. However, at the time, I felt like I opened the right opportunities with my semi with my opponents. My main game plan was to make openings and choose the attack or was on the fly. And I felt like I was pretty successful, at least making the openings that I wanted at the timing that I wanted. After viewing the video myself, I felt my own performance was only merely good, but not great. My attack execution for Shikake Wazla let me down, especially during the first match. Neither of us got the shotachi in my first match, but I got it in the second match. In retrospect, the hit itself wasn't great. It was difficult to deal with someone who was attacking more willy-nilly, and I did what I could to control the match and create opportunities. I'm really glad you raised that because I think fourth dan, fifth dan, this is something people really struggle with. It's not just fourth dan, fifth dan. I think people probably struggle at other grades as well. But I really feel like being able to deal with that is part of demonstrating that you're able to pass the grade or deserve to pass the grade. I'll talk about it more later. I'm trying to put together an agenda and curriculum for myself to get better at the aspects I'm lacking. I got some feedback from a couple of the judges. A couple of them gave me comment about the whole fifth dan batch, where they said that the semi-eye and distance were lacking. Was this a case of my matches? I got a specific comment about how I looked stiff and I didn't portray a sense of danger or life and death during the jitsuki. And I agree. I feel stiffness took away from my tame. All in all, what aspects of my jitsuki should I keep and what should I work on to pass my next one, and how do I work on it? Great questions. Okay, well, let's have a look. So you're on the right-hand side here. So let's have a look. I'm going to watch it more before I comment, all right? Right, I'm going to tell you one thing first off, right? And this isn't about your grading, but get the tape off the end of your himo. I hate tape on the end of the himo. That's my pet hate, that one. Tape on the end of the himo. We've got a video on how to tie it properly, all right? So do it properly. I think I'm going to need to watch this a bit more. Let me be clear, right? I'm not qualified to examine for fifth dan right now. So I'm talking to you from the perspective of somebody that's passed the grade rather than someone that judges the grade. Okay, right, let me start this again. Right, I think the start is good. All right, and I think that your strike for shotachi on the first one is fine, even though it doesn't quite make it. That's fine. It's a bit hard to see what's going on here, but I'm not sure, like, if I was to be quite strict here, like, I'm not sure you really managed to sell that. I'm guessing you tried to do Aigote men, and it didn't look to me like you were really inviting the kote. So you were kind of taking it for granted they would hit kote, is how it kind of looked. So, you know, which they did, which is great. They did, which is great. But you weren't able to connect it. Which means that there's something wrong there, and it's usually like with Aigote men, it comes from like either tame or seme is the issue as to why it can't connect. Here, this men strike from your opponent. Sorry, your men strike here was completely in reaction to your opponent. Okay. Here you need to have more gaman, what's called gaman, more patience. Okay. So obviously don't let them hit you, but you know, don't do this. But you can defend with the shinai, yeah, or you can keep the kamae. Okay, but you don't want to get baited into joining their rhythm. All right. So the thing is, I think you're selecting right techniques in the right moment, but you don't look like you're in control of this tachiai. Again, all right. So I'm going to say something controversial. Am I going to say something controversial? I'm weighing it up. Look, you did the right thing by. Let me just see this again here. Yeah, I like this. I can see you doing the semi here to get him to try to attack your kote. I like it. It's good. It's good. I just don't like the waza that you did. All right, because do I say it? I don't think you should do the big kote nuki men after like nidan. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it's like it looks like a low level waza. It's like a waza that's super popular with like shodan, right? People, right? Because it's like a kind of easy oji waza. And you know, I know you kind of hit him. I don't know. I'm probably being a bit harsh. Maybe it's a personal bias towards that waza. I don't know. But like this would have been so much nicer if it had been like a Suriaga or a Kaisimen. Especially as you have this sort of impression of there's a withdrawal of your sort of, how can I say, like there's a withdrawal of your connection as you perform this waza. You're like, haha, kind of thing. I'm not saying it's like that, but like it doesn't look confident. It lacks hinkaku, which is something that's more important for Rokudan rather than Godan. But like it just looks a bit rough around the edges, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, and this is just something I noticed, is your kime and voice is bigger on this one because it made impact. And it looks like it's added on. So it doesn't look like you're committing to the strikes, and then you know what I mean. Like you are committing to the strikes, but it's like you kind of almost overemphasize this one. So it kind of looks a bit like, see, I got one. You know, see, I got one. See, I hit one. But it's not on the, you know, like rather than like it just being normal that the strike would make connection. I'm not saying that you should dumb it down. I'm not. Either they should, in other words, all the wazas should be at the same intensity. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if they don't make contact, I'm not saying you should try and oversell something that doesn't make contact. But like, it looks like you made contact with this and then turn the intensity up of your like, your ki, basically. Whereas everything should be at sort of your max, not max intensity, but I guess is, I don't want to overdo that, but like it should all be like consistent, because it should all be with good, maximum intensity really. And then of course, if you miss or don't manage to make contact, you don't overdo it. But do you know, I hope I'm communicating that. I don't think this is a huge problem, but I don't think this is like a problem, like a reason why you might not have managed to pass. I think it's a pretty close fail, if I'm honest with you. I don't think you're far away from getting this pass, but like your semi just wasn't enough here to get him to come at you. All right, it just wasn't enough. Okay, so this degote, like, is good timing, but like mechanically it's not great. Again, it's a bit like the other one before. It's like it's not polished. Yeah, it's not polished. It's not refined. So it's like on the spot, like you're far too close. Like, you know what I mean? So you're kind of going kote like this instead of pam kote. You know, you need to hit out in front of you with degote. You need to hit out in front of you. It's a super hard waza actually. But this one sort of looks like this. So the quality of this datoto is not great. And I just think there's probably just too much happening in this shinsa for 1 minute, right? I don't like to say you should only do a certain number of strikes. I hate that as a concept, right? You should strike when there's an opportunity, right? You should create an opportunity and then you should strike, and you should continue to do that throughout the shinsa. So it's not a case you should only strike 3 or 5 times or something like that. I'm not saying that, but there's a kind of like, there's like a slightly forced feeling to this. Like, it's just a bit too much. Let me watch the next one, and then I'll go on that a bit more. All right. On the right side again. Okay. Okay, so this is the one where you said that you got the shotachi, which I understand. Which you did, but it was a bit short, wasn't it? Oh no, it's well on in it now. Take it back. Yeah, I think there's I'm not keen on the fumikiri either. I think the fumikiri is weak. It needs to be stronger so that your strikes can have more impact and be more decisive. I think that's one of the key issues here, probably linking to what the advice you've been told as well. Like, the strikes they're like okay. They're like okay. But for them to be fantastic, I think you need more work out of your left leg, and that comes from having better tamit. I think Kendo's very good, by the way. Please don't get me wrong. I think this is very close grading. You're very capable of passing this exam. It's not a case, you know, that you're miles away or something like that. You're not. You're very close to passing this exam. You're very, very capable of it. But I think what we're looking at now is working on the, like, I hesitate to use the word strategic element, but it kind of is. It's the way that you apply your kendo to your opponent now going forward. See, there's what happened. The problem is now this happened twice now. Right? So this hasn't helped you. I'm not going to lie. All right? So you want to practice getting your kaishido to work. So what that means is you need to get them to commit to a men strike before you move, right? So the first bit's good. We're here, and then come on then. And then you give that little bit of semi. I like that. That's good. Here, come on then. But it doesn't, right? And then the problem is you're too committed in your mind to definitely doing the kaishido, which is fine. You can be, but like you've let do you know what I mean? Like you let the cat out of the bag a little bit early, because all he had to do was flinch a little bit, and then it was like oh, and then the moment's gone. Do you know what I'm saying? So I haven't listened right. It's slightly a technical issue here, right? Because the last thing you want to do with a good kaishido is make a big, massive swing, all right? As much as possible, you want to keep those hands down right till the last second, right till that men is like here. That's when, ba-bam. Not bam, bam this way, but right till it's here, like it's about to touch your hair. Then, ba-bam, yeah? Ba-bam, this way, not bam, bam, this way, all right? So you've let it go too early. You know what I'm saying? And it's connected to the issue of tame as well. And tame is the patience whilst being ready. You've got to be aggressively patient, all right? See, look, it's shown here. Watch your left foot. Your left heel keeps touching the floor, right? Your left heel must never touch it's totally flat on the floor here, okay? That is breaks in your tame equals breaks in your concentration, okay? Break equals breaks in your semei, all right? Mustn't let that happen. I thought this is good. This is a good try. Why didn't it hit? Why didn't it hit? Do you know what? I think there's probably a bit of right hand coming in your strike. You know, that's why you're getting pushed off the center. Because I think you took the initiative there. You took the sen there. But you were just pushed off the center, weren't you? It's good. Yeah, let's look at that left foot there. I know, right, you might say, oh yeah, it's a slightly off the floor, but that's not tamiteru, okay? That foot is not ready to go. You cannot move on that right now. You can't just go, yeah? This is good, man. Okay, so look, this second Jitsugi was better than the first one, but I think the problem is in the first one, it's just a little bit overcrowded with what's going on, right? And I think this is what you're talking about trying to deal with an opponent that's like attacking you outside of your own timing. And it's something people come to me a lot with, and they say, you know, oh look, but what do I do if like they just keep attacking me when I'm not ready and stuff like that? And you know, of course it's easy to just say, oh well, just be ready, but it's not a case of just being ready. You can't just attack, you know, you're not supposed to just attack in response to the opponent, but you don't have to respond in every way. And by that I mean you don't have to match them. Oh, they're coming from men. Okay, man. Okay, they're coming. Oh, okay, I'll try and do this one. You know, you end up getting rushed. You don't have to get rushed by them, all right? If they want to start attacking you when now is not the time, you haven't got them to attack yet, you're not ready for them to attack yet, then fine. Destroy the waza. Just I'm going to use this word very carefully, but block. You don't, not like this, yeah? But just block it out the way, yeah? Or retain your kamae. It's risky to retain your kamae because some people will twist like this and try and get around it. But just push it out the way. No, not yet. Now, bam! Yeah? You have to try to, in a grading like this, once you start looking at, like, fifth dan's a bit of it's an in-between one that's like, because criteria-wise, it's similar to fourth dan, but obviously now you've got to, you know, demonstrate that you've spent the last 4 years studying, and you've got opponents that are doing the same. So it is a higher level than fourth dan, but it's not quite the same as sixth dan, seventh dan that are looking at more even deeper concepts now. But the thing is you have to kind of still, I think, you have to show that there's 3 people involved in the process, all right? Now, it doesn't always work like this, right? But there's 3 people, there's you and 2 opponents, right? So what you have to make it appear is that you're already 5th dan and they are 4th dan. That's how it has to look, all right? Now, it might not always look like that. Sometimes you'll look like 5th dan and they'll look like 5th dan too, and it's going to, you know, hasn't quite happened here though. Do you know what I mean? There's no obvious gap between you and your partners, and it's not that you all look like I don't mean this in I don't mean, I'm saying this because I want you to do better, all right? So please don't get upset about me saying something that's a little bit harsh. But this, if you'd sent this to me and told me it was a Yondan grading, I wouldn't have known the difference. Yeah. And that's not particularly unusual, right? That's not particularly unusual because the criteria are the same, right? Criteria are the same. But especially this first tachiai, where it's, you know, if they're operating outside of the rhythm or the direction you want this tachiai to go, and you have to change it. You have to demonstrate you're able to do that. All right. So the key points for you are, you need to have more tame, okay? And that's easy to say, difficult to do. But what it literally means is you need to be more concentrated. You need to be a bit more patient, but you need to have your left leg ready to send you forward at any point, right? 2, you don't want to be getting caught into matching the rhythm of your partner, okay? You don't want to be doing that. You want to be making the strikes in your rhythm. Make them join your rhythm, okay? So they have to hit when you want them to hit. And finally, you just, the quality of the strikes just need raising. And I think, if I'm honest with you, it's not so much a technical issue. I mean, it is, but if you improve that ability to use your left leg and improve the tame, then the strikes, as I say, will have more impact and the whole thing will be more convincing, all right, when those strikes come, all right? Now, again, I don't like to say you should only do 5 attacks, or you should only do 6 attacks, or only do 3 attacks, all right? But it's about quality over quantity, all right? It really is. It really is. I think I looked back at my Rokudanshins recently, and I think I did 6 or 7 strikes throughout the whole match in 1 minute, all right? So that's like 1 strike every 10 seconds or so, yeah? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now strike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next strike. And it's not like that. It's not that rhythm, right? It's not. But that's clearly not not really what's happening here. Now, a lot of people would tell me that 6 or 7 strikes in a 6th dan exam is a lot or too many, right? Lots of people would say that. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know, but it worked for me, right? But what I'm saying is even 6 or 7 strikes, or even 10 strikes, right? It's, you know, they've got to be paced right, and they've got to happen at the right time, and they've got to come from the right place. So a lot of what's happening in yours, because there's so much to look at, some of the good stuff gets a little bit lost in the woods. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think you're very, very capable of passing this exam. I really do. I really do. You're absolutely capable of passing this exam. But it's about how you approach the test rather than whether you make lots of valid strikes or not. Okay, you need to make 1 or 2 really good valid strikes. All right, in each tachiai, ideally. All right, that's what you ideally, right? It's better to make 1 good, convincing, valid strike in each tachiai than make 3 or 4 that are like, all right. Do you know what I mean? Okay. I really want you to carry on trying for it, because I think you're going to get it. I think you're going to get it, but you do need to just think about that tame specifically. Okay. Thank you very much for sending it in. All right. I wish you the best of luck for the next time. All right. And thank you for sending the NICU exam as well. Some great stuff there. Okay, thank you everyone for joining me today. If you'd like to send a video for Kendo feedback, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube, set it as unlisted or public, just don't set it to private, and then email the link to me at mail@kendostar.com and give me a message letting me know what's going on, which side you are, stuff like that, some context to it. I have a lot of these, all right? So I've got a bit of a backlog. This one I think was sent to me, this one was sent to me just over 2 weeks ago, all right? So it's taken me 2 weeks to get to this particular one. So it takes me a little while because I've got a backlog and I'm working through them, but I do every single one. All right, so do send them in, but you just do need to be patient before I can definitely get to it. But I will definitely cover every single one that gets sent to me. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. Shop at KendoStar, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.